Okay, we are at the Eisenhower Foundation and we are doing an interview. And sir, would you please give me your name?
Bruce Harner.
Hello, Bruce. Good to have you. So Bruce, can you tell me where you were born and your birth date?
Where were you born and your birthday?
Where was I born?
Yeah.
Red Knob, West Virginia.
And your birthday?
On September 16, 1926.
Great. Did you grow up in Red Knob then? Is that where you grew up?
You grew up in Red Knob?
Yeah. Did you grow up there?
Yeah.
No, I was there till I was, till I was 8 years old.
Okay. And where did you move?
To Breckenridge, Michigan.
Okay. And you went to school there, and did you attend high school and graduate in Breckenridge?
Where did you go to high school?
Well, they went to high school in Shepherd, Michigan.
Okay. Great.
1939, 1943.
Tell her when you graduated, how old you were. When did you graduate?
1943.
How old were you?
Yeah.
How old were you?
16. I graduated when I was 16 from high school.
Oh, were you smarty pants? Were you smart?
Were you smarty pants?
No, not really. I miss some facts someplace.
Well, that's great. And so I wanted to ask you a little bit about your parents. What did your parents do for a living?
What did Grandma and Grandpa do for a living?
They were dirt farmers in West Virginia. But the reason we moved to Michigan was at Depression time, and they went up there to the oil fields and my dad got a good job in the oil fields, and we fared pretty well after that then.
Great. Okay, so you graduated high school, and did you go to work?
What did you do to graduate from high school? You went to work at Dow?
After I graduated?
Yeah.
Yeah, I graduated in 1943, in June and December 1943, I went to work for the Dow Chemical Company in Midland, Michigan.
Okay, and then
I was on there. I was an employee. I'm not saying I worked for them, but I was one of their employees for 42 years.
That's great. Okay, so you got out of school at 16, but you must have enlisted then in the service. Is that correct?
Well, after you started working for Dow's when you enlisted, right?
Yeah, I worked for them until, that was December 1943. I worked there 6 months till June 1944. And then that's when I volunteered for the Navy. And of course, my parents had to sign the approval and everything, but they did. And left Dow and went to the Navy.
What were your reasons for enlisting?
Why did you want to enlist? Why did you want to enlist in the Navy?
I had a job there at Dow that wasn't very pleasant. And another guy started to work the same day I did. And so we had a discussion, and we said, well, let's get out of here. Let's join the Navy. and we did.
And okay, so you're in the Navy, and where did you do your basic training?
Where was your basic training?
At the Great Lakes, Illinois. Great Lakes Naval Training Station, Waukegan, Illinois. I think it is. I think it's Waukegan, north of Chicago.
Yeah.
What was the best thing about basic training?
The best thing that you liked about basic training?
Yeah, that's the same as basic training.
But the best thing that you liked?
Basic training, that I never had to peel a potato.
What's
I
the
bet-
worst? What was the worst thing?
I picked up several cigarette butts off the parking lot, but I never had to peel a potato.
What was the worst thing about basic training? The worst thing.
Worse thing? I think getting up early in the morning.
Got up before the sun?
Did you have to get up before the sun?
Yeah.
You're okay. You got in basic training, and then where were you stationed?
Where did they station you after that?
I think I had 10 days home, and then I went to I think after that, after I got out of boot camp, I was never any place more than 30 days for the next 2 years. The first place I went was, I think, New Orleans, I believe, for 2 weeks. Then to Biloxi for gun training for 2 or 3 weeks.
Okay.
Where'd you go after that?
And then the Navy the part of the Navy that we got assigned to was not on a Navy ship, but on the merchant ships.
A merchant ship?
The merchant ships. The United States didn't get in the war until several months after it started. But after they joined the war against Germany, then they started providing supplies for the war in Europe, which had to be transported from New York to the war station in Europe on the merchant ships. The Germans was sinking those merchant ships, a lot of them, before they ever got to Europe, and the supplies wouldn't get there. Someone come up with the idea, let's put guns on those ships, on the merchant ships. Put guns on the merchant ships. They put a Navy crew on, we trained Navy guys, and put a Navy crew on there to do the guns. And that's called the armed guard. And that's what I was. I think it was 21 Navy personnel on each ship. Had a 12-inch gun on the back, 9-inch gun on the front. I think it's 440 millers on each side. The Navy crew run the gun, and we were the eyes. Didn't have radar like it had now. It didn't have, but we were the eyes of for the ships. We would be on the lookout 4 hours at a time, 2 times a day. I mean, that was our assignments.
That sounds pretty serious. And you went to Europe then? You went on merchant ships to Europe?
So how long were you in? You went to Europe for how long?
First ship we got was out of a brand new tanker out of, I think Mobile, Alabama. I'm not sure where they made it. It was a brand new tanker. We got inside of that ship, took it on a shakedown, brought it back, and they shake them out. And we went to Perth Amboy, New Jersey, and loaded it with fuel. Took it to England, come back, and the ship got damaged on that first trip. They had to go in dry dock for 3 or 4 weeks in Brooklyn. But then loaded up again, took another trip to England, and then the war was over in Europe. So I think I got to come home for Christmas or a week or so. Then went down to New Orleans, got another ship going into the Pacific through the Panama Canal, and then we were in the Pacific then until the end of the war with Japan.
Did you get supplies in Hawaii, or did you go to California to get your supplies to ship out?
Did you have supplies in Hawaii, or did you have to go to California and get supplies? Or were you on a regular Navy ship then when you were in the Pacific?
Yeah, no, that was on the cargo ship in the Pacific. I got a cargo ship with which had supplies too. It was the same kind of ship. It had supplies. Went to the Panama Canal, went to Manila, New Guinea, back to Manila, Okinawa, and on the way to Japan when they signed a treaty over there. We was just a few miles from Missouri when they signed the treaty.
Neat.
But we went ahead. We went all the way into Yokohama with the supplies. Yeah.
When you were on the merchant ships and were on lookout for 4 hours, did you ever see any German subs or see anything? Did anything happen while you were on watch?
When you were on those ships going to Europe with the guns, did you see any of the German submarines or ships?
No. There was we heard depth charges.
You heard depth charges?
Yeah, and rattled the ship. I mean, the shower had come off the wall one time when I was taking a shower. But no, we were not really in any danger because war was winding down out there then, so it was a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the supplies got through there after they put the guns on the ship.
Yeah.
When you were in the Pacific, did you have any encounters with any Japanese ships or submarines?
When you were in the Pacific, did you have any encounters with the Japanese or any of the submarines?
No. The most dangerous thing in the Pacific happened after the war was over.
What was that? What do you mean?
What was that?
We left Japan. We unloaded the ship, left Japan, and come back and stopped in Honolulu. That was the first time I'd been on American soil for whatever. Well, that wasn't American soil then, but first time I was on American soil for a while. Of course, the sailors had to celebrate, and they did. And when they come back late that night, some of them was a little bit inebriated. I was in my bunk, and someone shot a gun, and that bullet come into my area there and bounced off of the bulkhead, and it left a hole in the wall in the bulkhead, and it bounced around in there someplace, but it missed me.
Thankfully.
That was about the most dangerous I was in, except the typhoon and Yokohama Harbor.
Typhoon. I heard another veteran talk about that. It was a big storm and you didn't realize it was a typhoon till later. Is that correct?
Another veteran talked about the typhoon over there. Did you know what kind of storm it was when you were there?
The typhoon?
Yeah.
No, it was just strong winds. We were anchored with other ships in the harbor. Most of the other ships were abandoned Japanese ships. We had to start the engines on our ship along with the anchor so it would not blow into the land. Those Japanese ships didn't have anyone to do that.
Yeah.
So they started dragging their anchor back towards the land, got hung up with our anchor, and then they would come around and bang like that in a storm. They come around and back again. And they come around and bang like that. It's bounce out again.
Wow.
But so we had that wasn't too pleasant.
No. You were in the Pacific on a boat on the way to Japan when the war ended, correct?
Were you on your way to Japan on a ship when the war ended?
Yeah, when the war ended, we were between Okinawa and Japan. The Missouri was up. That's where they signed it. That's where they signed a treaty with Japan leaders. And we was just going past the Missouri. Couldn't see it, but it was right in the area there when they signed a treaty. And we kept right on going to Yokohama Harbor. Yeah. September 1945. 45, I think. No, that was August 1945. September.
August or September.
It was a couple days ago. Do you remember how you were told that the war was over? Did it come across the ship's PA system? Did a friend tell you?
How did they announce that the war was over? Was it on the PA system, or who told you guys on the ship? How did they tell you?
You know, I think we heard it on the announce it on the PA system, whatever, however they talk to us or announce it. You know,
That's how they told you?
Is there any other stories you want to tell while you were in the service?
Tell them how you liked going swimming off the ship.
what?
When you went swimming off the ship, remember? When you went swimming.
Oh, yeah, that was between the Savannah Canal and Manila. I don't know why they did, but they just stopped. They just stopped and drifted. Nice day. I mean, the captain didn't say anything to me about it.
So,
but the ship was just drifting in the Pacific Ocean, and the Pacific Ocean was real smooth. Of course, the rollers was probably 10, 15 high, but a bunch of us dudes, I guess, got out there with it, and I don't think we even put a life jacket on. Just swim around away from the ship, swim back. And then when they got ready, the ladder was over the side. We just got on the ladder and climbed back up. But that was the craziest thing. I learned later there might have been sharks out there.
I bet.
And that was a dangerous thing to do, foolish thing to do.
Did you just jump? Did you just jump over the side, or how'd you get in the water?
No, jump.
yeah, did you just jump?
No.
That's too high.
The rail was probably it might have been 20, 25 feet, 30 feet, maybe out of the water.
Did you climb down the ladder?
Yeah, I think we climbed down the ladder.
Climb down the ladder?
At least part way down the ladder, you know.
Pretty exciting. Swim in the Pacific.
Yeah.
When you came home, did you come into California or go back through the Panama Canal?
When you came back to the mainland, was it at California, or did you come back through the Panama?
No, we stopped in Honolulu for, I think, just one or two nights, and then we come in, I believe it was San Francisco.
Okay.
They got off the ship there. I think the ship was empty, didn't have anything on it, water. But then I would come home to Midland County, Michigan. My folks had moved to a different house in the meantime, but then I didn't have enough points to be discharged yet, so I had to go back then to. I don't know where I went. I think I went to Chicago maybe and got another assignment, then rode the train to Seattle and was up there till June on a regular Navy ship, USS Navy ship. Till just putting my time in until I got enough points to be discharged on June 6th.
Mm-hmm. June 6th, that's a good day. So when you got out of the service, did you use the GI Bill, or did you just go back to work at the chemical place?
When you finished the military, did you just go start working back at Dow again?
Yeah. I went after I got discharged. Then I come right back home to the new place that they had, a new farm, and I think I went back to Dow within a week maybe after I got discharged. They was glad that they took me right back on the seniority list and everything.
Right.
I was 19 years old then.
You're how old?
19.
At that time.
Did you ever have an opportunity to meet General Eisenhower?
Did you ever meet General Eisenhower?
No, the closest I come to those dudes down there was Bob Dole.
Bob Dole. Yeah.
He's a good guy. Do you feel that the military changed your life?
Did the military change your life?
Very definitely. It's real regimented and you got to learn that there's other people around instead of yourself. You know, discipline, and promptness and accuracy. Yeah.
Those are good things. Is there any message you would like to share about World War II or your time in the service?
Anything, any of your own thoughts about World War II or the time you were in the military that you'd like to say? Anything in particular?
About what?
About World War II or your time in the military? Any of your own thoughts about that?
No, not really. I guess I really did appreciate though the discipline. It's a good thing, and I'm glad that they insisted on doing that. You know,
that's good.
You learned from it, right? You learned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you'd like to share about World War II or in your time?
Anything else you want to say?
No, I don't. If that's enough for the interview, I'm satisfied.
Oh, I just thought of something else. Did you make friends with people in the service? Maybe some of the guys you went swimming with. Did you keep in touch with them over the years?
Any of the guys from the military or from the Navy that you remained in contact with or friends with through the years?
You know, I didn't. My brother-in-law, he did stay in contact with them all the time, but I had very little to do with. Just got out of contact with them. Didn't communicate. The guy that went to the work at Dow at the same time I did, and come back. He was in a different area, and he's about the only. We come back to Dow to work. He's about the only one I communicated with.
You guys weren't together at all during your service.
But the crew, the crew and the Navy crew on those ships, I didn't don't know where they went.
You tell her you were shy. You were shy. Tell her that.
Yeah, probably.
You were. You tell her. You were shy. Remember, you said you were pretty shy.
Yeah. I was timid.
I don't know. You went swimming in the Pacific. That doesn't sound very timid.
It's 96 now, and if I keep feeling like I am now, I think my goal will be to be the last U.S. service person from World War II.
That's a good goal. Good goal.
Yeah, good goal. Yeah.
Do you travel very much? Do you get out and go places?
Not our traveling after the Navy was mostly restricted to Michigan and Illinois, and the United States, continental United States. We took the family around the United States quite a lot. But
He actually has. My parents went to Australia when my sister was over there for a year. And he still, just even the last few years, last year he went up to Michigan, and 2 years ago we were up in Montana for his birthday, his 95th birthday.
Well, Bruce, is there anything else you'd like to share with us today about?
Well, the only thing is, I about 5 years after I got out of the Navy, I met a beautiful lady, married her, raised a nice family.
That's great. How many children?
3 girls. They're all very successful.
And so you stayed in Michigan then most of your life and worked at Dow?
You stayed in Michigan and worked at Dow, right? Stayed in Michigan and worked at Dow.
Yeah. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Thank you.
42 years or 43?
Well, Bruce, thank you for your service and thanks for the interview. Appreciate it so much. We will be getting you into Ike Soldiers.
Say thank you.
You're welcome. You're very welcome.